Now that you've gathered all the information and generated an energy model, you need a method to communicate your findings. HERS rating reports are used for many purposes, and they're also controlled by the national standards. Let's discuss the standards as well as several other areas and programs that use HERS rating reports. Just as HERS ratings have minimum rated features, HERS rating reports have minimum content requirements that are also dictated by the standards. MNHERS, as you know, points to ANSI ResNet ICC Standard 301. However, it adds in Section 303.3, which requires the rating software tools to prohibit printing of confirmed and sampled HERS ratings until they've been registered by the QA provider in the National Registry. This section also requires that the registry ID be prominently displayed on all printed HERS rating reports. This is how the recipient of the report knows that they've received an official HERS rating, which is part of the rating quality assurance process. Many code jurisdictions and programs require that registry ID, which means that they require HERS ratings. Projected HERS ratings are allowed to be printed, and they'll have prominent wording explaining that this is a projected HERS rating, not a final approved HERS rating. The reporting standard of 301 is Section 5.1.3. This section includes what's required at a minimum on all reports generated by any approved rating software tool. These include the address of the property, the name of the rater and the rater's provider, the date of the rating, the software version used for the energy model, and a disclosure statement. Now, that seems pretty minimal and pretty simple, but that's really not all. Energy ratings are used to perform improvement analysis for several programs, including projected and confirmed ratings used to obtain building permits and occupancy permits, but also financing programs such as energy efficiency and energy improvement mortgages. They are used to ensure that units qualify for the energy efficiency programs, certification programs, and for energy codes. All of these programs that depend on the ratings depend on all of Section 5.1 of the standards. This section includes the requirements not just for minimum report information, but also the calculations that must be included on the reports, assumptions used for estimates and for calculating energy savings, energy prices required to be used, pollution, emissions savings, types of energy ratings that may be reported, and how to calculate an average energy rating index value for a building with multiple units. All of this goes into the reports as well. One additional report to consider is the energy rating label. Most codes require a label on the electric panel, which indicates the energy efficiency aspects of the home. The minimum requirements for this report are found in Section 5.3 of Standard 301 and include property address, the index number, the projected energy use by fuel type, as well as the projected annual energy costs, the name of the approved individual or company providing the energy rating, and the date the energy rating was completed. These are minimum required by Standard 301. Many codes require further details, for example, including the levels of insulation found in the home on the sticker. The first key to a good report is understanding the reason for the need for an energy analysis in the first place. Nothing is worse from a customer perspective than receiving a service and a report that totally misses the mark when it comes to what's important to the customer. For new construction, this may be as simple as the ability to obtain the construction permit and then the certificate of occupancy. However, many HERS ratings and energy analyses are performed on existing housing stock with the intention of improving the efficiency, affordability, and comfort of the structure. Standard 301, Section 5.1.4 covers the 4 types of ratings that may be performed. A projected rating is one that's projecting the expected energy use and the energy costs of the home. It's based on plans for new construction and on the existing home for the energy improvement analysis. It requires all minimum rated features be determined and incorporated into the energy model. The projected rating also takes into account the specifications required by the program, by code, or by the client that will be using the projected rating. These specifications may include targets for air and duct leakage and for mechanical ventilation rates. If not, then the reference home values for those items must be used. If the orientation is known, that's used. However, if not, then the model must be generated using 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west, and whichever one results in the largest index number must be used. Any reports generated for projected ratings have to include this statement at the top of the report in no less than 14-point font: projected rating based on plans, field confirmation required. The next rating type is a confirmed rating. This is when all those minimum rated features have been verified on-site through testing and inspections. The data is entered into the energy modeling software, and the final result is subject to the quality assurance requirements adopted by an approved rating provider. For HERS ratings, this would mean the ResNet quality assurance processes, and then would also include the National Registry ID on the approved reports. Standard 301 doesn't have any other specific reporting requirements for confirmed ratings that are produced and approved through energy rating index providers. The standard itself is silent on what quality assurance requirements approved rating providers must have. The next type of rating is a sampled rating. This is actually more of a procedure followed on a large group of ratings. A worst-case projected rating is performed, projecting the expected energy rating index for each unique dwelling type or each unique plan. Then the minimum rated features to be sampled are determined as the sample set of features. These features are verified on one or in multiple units that are ready for testing and verification. The features that can be sampled depend on the set of unit types that are in the plan, the program goals and requirements, and what the AHJ, or authority having jurisdiction, will allow. If the sampling is being performed on detached units, such as single-family homes, each unit receives the index matching the worst-case projected rating. With attached units, such as apartments, the projected rating is allowed to be updated with the worst performance tested or verified, and then all units of that type receive the resulting energy rating index value. Standard 301 does point back to MNHERS Chapter 6 as criteria that may be used for sampling. From a reporting perspective, each unit in a sampled project must be labeled, and the label must include a statement about whether the particular unit has or has not been fully inspected or tested. The final rating type is the threshold rating. This type of rating also uses a worst-case analysis, which sets a threshold, and all units of the same type as the worst-case type receive that same energy rating index number. However, every unit is fully tested, and all minimum rated features are verified for every unit. This type of rating is used, for example, when a builder wants to state that all houses built from Plan X have a guaranteed energy index matching some number. One energy model can be built per plan and then copied for every unit built from that plan. The testing and verification ensures that the actual unit is built and performs as well or better than the threshold rating, and the software includes fields for the actual test results to be documented. This type of rating is specifically subject to ResNet MNHERS Chapter 9 quality assurance requirements. Approved rating providers may generate a report requesting an evaluation of an innovative design that is not addressed by any of the approved software rating tools or by the standards. The petition for an innovative design request must include the energy model that has been generated that includes everything else except the feature that the software was unable to include. It must have a written description of the innovative feature, manufacturer's technical specifications or performance specifications for the innovative feature, the estimated energy impact of the innovative feature, and the calculations to determine that impact should be documented or simulated results need to be shared, and the estimated adjustment to the energy rating index based on the innovative feature and calculated following the same procedures from Section 4.1 and 4.2 that all included features must follow. If the IDR is approved, the rating provider may issue a supplemental report that adjusts the energy rating index as an approved new index. This is exactly how drain water heat recovery systems got added to the standards. The different software vendors have different report formats, so the report you'll see will depend on the software you end up using. But you will see the items required by the standards, and you may also see a criteria area that shows project compliance with the codes, standards, and programs. The label will also vary based on the software program used. And there may be multiple report formats to choose from. For any final reports showing compliance and index numbers, the project must be registered in the ResNet National Registry and the registry ID shown on the report, or the report will not be able to be printed per standards. Draft reports may be printed for projected HERS ratings, but not for confirmed HERS ratings. A very helpful report to use is the Energy Code Inspection Report. Even if you're not performing an Energy Code inspection, this report is very helpful in the field. Once you've performed a projected rating from plans, this report will have the information to field verify during pre-drywall and final visits. It gives you a list of what you've already input into the model and a method to document any updates that you'll need to make to that model if anything's changed. One important tip to remember when it comes to reports is to be sure to print to PDF all of the reports that you want to have available once the HERS rating is approved and the print permissions have been set. The software vendors update their software all the time to keep up with all the standard changes. You may not be able to print reports for an older HERS rating energy model using the newer software, or the standards could have changed to the point that a structure that qualified for a program or had a specific index number no longer qualifies or would now have a different index number. A HERS rating is a point-in-time evaluation. Make sure you save those point-in-time reports in a format where you can easily store, retrieve, and provide them into the future. That's a high-level introduction to HERS rating reports. The next several units will take a deeper dive into specific reporting use cases. Each software tool has several reports available. Be sure to investigate and find out what reports are available to you.